Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, the Red Queen Tarot. Thank you for tuning into this full moon reading. Tonight we're going to take a look at the energies surrounding you under this full moon, what you can expect for the next 2 weeks or so as we wane down to the new moon to begin a new lunar cycle, September 26th. So this will be for the full moon occurring September 10th, 2022 in tropical Pisces or sidereal Aquarius. So check out where that full moon will be taking place in accordance with your birth chart, what house. You can see some blessings coming through for you, or information and enlightenment, progress, or where you are stuck currently. So take this time, focus on one of the 3 cards in front of you. I have already shuffled and dealt out the cards for each pile. First, we have pile number 1, resistance. This is number 25. So whether you're drawn to a symbol here in the card, the number at the top of the card, or the word itself, whatever's resonating with you there. If you'd like pile number 2, we have the unexpected, which is the blue moon. And that is number 43. And finally, we have the 3rd card, abundance, the hunter moon, number 38. This is a card of the full moon. 2 of these are. This is a waning crescent, so that'll be on your way to the new moon. But the hunter moon, I believe, is the next one we're experiencing. That will be the full moon in October. All right, so take your time, pause the video if you need to, and choose a pile, 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Moving on with our first pile, your card you chose was resistance, number 25. Leave this here and incorporate it with the rest of our reading. All right. First, we're going to start with your tarot cards. Because this is a full moon in Pisces, the 12th house of dreams and the subconscious, I'm using 2 decks today called the Tarot of Dreams and the Dreams of Gaia. So starting with the Tarot of Dreams, let's take a look at your energies. Here we have Strength, number 8, Leo card. We also have the Hanged Man, another major arcana, number 12. It has to do with Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces, which rules the subconscious. And finally, wow, we have the Justice card. So this is Libra, number 11. 3 major arcana for your reading. Big energies this month, big moves. Right away, I'm noticing a theme here between the Hanged Man and Justice. Things hanging in the balance scales, balancing out. We are in the season of Libra, approaching Libra. Here at the end of September, we have the autumnal equinox coming up. September 22nd and 23rd, this could be a major changing point, something that you've been holding on to really strongly for a long time, a belief system about yourself or your environment. Here with the Hanged Man, and how it's playing in with this resistance card. It's holding on to something from the past that you're not willing to let go of, something that's been keeping you stuck, seeing things from only one perspective instead of the other side of the coin or the other side of the scale, as with Justice here. Something is going to be shown to you where you're out of balance, where you've been giving too much, receiving too much. There'll be some kind of realization coming towards you. And I will read about the resistance card here at the end of the reading and see what that ties into, because I shuffled for these cards as I was pulling them out. But the Hanged Man also deals with the myth of Odin, where he hung himself upside down in the tree in order to gain enlightenment. Odin also sacrificed his right eye to receive wisdom. So, and the Hanged Man does speak of sacrifice, putting yourself in an uncomfortable position in order to change your perspective, in order to see something differently or experiencing something different that you've never done before. And that's requiring a great deal of courage and strength in order to come to a center point. If you've been operating out of one energy for longer than, or most of your life, some of you, and now you're being asked to basically do the opposite. You've been resisting this change because it's different. And what we don't know, we tend to fear the unknown. This is asking you to have the strength and the courage to power through any uncomfortable periods of this transition, because it's all part of the process of recentering and rebalancing yourself. I'm going to move on here to the Dreams of Gaia. I pulled one card for that. We have the Seven of Swords. Okay, Seven of Air. This is a card of moving on. Notice he's holding a book. He looks like he's teaching somebody. You could be taking a class. You could be writing, reading a lot. Something to do with scripture, and Libra being a card of air as well. You could be receiving messages from a Libra. It's truth and clarity, though. There's nothing emotional about this. It's just cold, hard facts. And some of them may be uncomfortable, but that's what helps you to grow. And I'll get more meaning behind this card, as I said, but she's grasping a whole bunch of like trees and shrubs, and there's birds flying. The winged birds make me think again of the air, and we have the earth and the air here. So something is taking flight after you get your feet firmly on the ground. It's important to, some of you need to do chakra work, meditation, reflection on what centers are blocking you. What is keeping the channel blocked? What are you not able to receive? Or the message was garbled or cloudy for some of you. But this is telling you to let go of the resistance of the new information coming in, so that you could, it's like a kink in the hose. I'm seeing, like, if you unkink the hose, the water flows much faster and easier and full force. So I think a lot of you are like afraid to take that step to unkink the hose because you're afraid that water's going to hit you in the face. But you honestly might need that. It's a bit of a wake-up call. Like I said, some things may be a bit shocking to you, but that's only because they're different. It's just part of the nature of change. Okay, so I'm going to slide down and we'll see what your Angels and Ancestors card is. We have the Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. You do hold the power here with the Strength card. You're in control of your own destiny here, and some of this could be you taking charge. Maybe you realize that you've put yourself in this hanged man position, that you've fouled yourself up somehow. You know, like when somebody runs through barbed wire or thorny underbrush in the woods, if they get stuck, the harder they struggle, the deeper the barbs cut. So there's something telling you to stop trying to force your way through these changes. Be receptive. We are in a Pisces full moon, which is a water element. Focuses on feminine energy. We have the Strength card, that's fire, Leo. Fire and air are masculine energies. And we here again have it says Magic Guardian, but her wings are orange. She has the red in her shirt. It's giving off a very flaming kind of energy, a fierce, fiery energy. But this is telling you again to do the opposite. Do something out of character. Try something different and watch how the energy flow changes and flips in your direction. Okay, we also have the archetype card. We have number 28, the shadow. So some of you are being called to do shadow work. Shadow is part of our subconscious, the part of us we don't want to look at, that we want to ignore, that we've been suppressing and holding back. Maybe that you're the one holding the hose, holding the kink in the hose, that's causing the resistance of the change. It's your shadow holding you back. It's the other side of the scale. It's your evil twin, you know. Until you can integrate that shadow, love that shadow, put down the sword, hug it, love it, and realize it, you know, give it what it's never had before. And that's forgiveness. Forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others. You don't need, stop waiting for an apology. Some of you are waiting for permission to move on or apologies. It doesn't matter. This is your time, you know, to take control you got yourself into this mess, you can get yourself out. So I also have another oracle card here. Oh, beautiful. This is the medicine card deck. So we have the Swan, number 39. There's a huge transformation that comes in letting go, pile 1. Resistance to change is the only reason you haven't changed. It's in your mind. That has to do with the air element too, is the mind. So the Swan, if you're familiar with the story of the ugly duckling who transforms into this beautiful swan. And finally, we have our Making Magic sigil card for you. We have the Sun. The golden energy of the Sun brings fame and fortune. So Leo is ruled by the Sun. Some of you could have prominent Leo in your chart. A lot of planets there, or it could be your rising sign, moon sign, sun sign. But this is saying that a lot of people are going to notice you, your transformation. There's going to be a lot of attention given to you because Leo rules the 5th house of fun, creativity, entertainment. There's something that you're producing and putting out there, something that you've been waiting too long and holding on too long of. You have great ideas, but you're holding them back. And this is encouraging you to unlock the magic within, make the alchemy happen, change shadow to light. We have the Sun and the Moon here. It is a full moon where the Sun opposes the Moon. It's just interesting that these cards are round and it's dark. But you have like the Venn diagram almost here, or the Vesica Pisces, where you have 2 circles that overlap one another, the left and right and the middle. And I got that sense here too in the first 2 cards of the Hanged Man and the Justice. There's 2 sides to every story. Everyone has a shadow. It's just the people that are successful are the ones that embrace their shadow, transmute their shadow here in the Swan by bringing things into light and no longer letting the shadow have control over you. It has a grip on you right now, this resistance. Okay, so there's something that needs to be free, that needs to be liberated, and knowledge is key. Research, reading, writing, getting those feelings out, bringing that shadow to light. That's what's going to help you release this resistance to change. Okay, there's a couple of these oracle cards that I have to read for you. So let's start with the Swan. Since that's in the center, our medicine deck here. All right, little Swan flew through the dream time looking for the future. She rested for a moment in the coolness of the pond, looking for a way to find the entry point to the future. This was a moment of confusion for Swan, as she knew she had happened into the dream time by accident. This was her first flight alone, and she was a bit concerned by the dream time landscape. As Swan looked high above Sacred Mountain, she saw the biggest swirling black hole she had ever seen. Dragonfly came flying by, and Swan stopped him to ask about the black hole. Dragonfly said, "Swan, that is the doorway to the other planes of imagination. I have been guardian of the illusion for many, many moons. If you want to enter here, you would have to ask permission and earn the right." Swan was not so sure she wanted to enter the black hole. She asked Dragonfly what was necessary for her to earn entry. Dragonfly replied, "You must be willing to accept whatever the future holds as it is presented, without trying to change Great Spirit's plan." Swan looked at her ugly little duckling body and then answered, "I will be happy to abide by Great Spirit's plan. I won't fight the currents of the black hole." That's the resistance. I will surrender to the flow of the spiral and trust what I am shown. Dragonfly was very happy with Swan's answer and began to spin the magic to break the pond's illusion. Suddenly, Swan was engulfed by a whirlpool in the center of the pond. Swan reappeared many days later, but now she was graceful and white and long-necked. Dragonfly was stunned. "Swan, what happened to you?" he explained. Swan smiled and said, "Dragonfly, I learned to surrender my body to the power of Great Spirit and was taken to where the future lives. I saw many wonders high on Sacred Mountain, and because of my faith and my acceptance, I have been changed. I have learned to accept the state of grace." Dragonfly was very happy for Swan. Swan told Dragonfly many of the wonders beyond the illusion. Through her healing and her acceptance of the state of grace, she was given the right to enter the dream time. So it is that we learn to surrender to the grace of the rhythm of the universe and slip from our physical bodies into the dream time. Swan medicine teaches us to be at one with all planes of consciousness and to trust in Great Spirit's protection. If you pulled Swan, it ushers in a time of altered states of awareness and of developments into your intuitive abilities. And that's what the Hangman has to do with. You see, he's diving deep, like I said, Neptune, into the dream, the subconscious realm, and exploring the unknown. He's having a leap of faith, really, to go through the black hole that Swan went through in order to be transformed. If you pulled Swan, it ushers in a time of altered states of awareness and of development of your intuitive abilities. Swan medicine people have the ability to see the future, to surrender to the power of Great Spirit, and to accept the healing and transformation of their lives. The Swan card is telling you to accept your ability to know what lies ahead. If you're resisting your self-transformation, relax and it will be easier if you go with the flow. Stop denying that you know who is calling when the phone rings. Pay attention to your hunches and your gut knowledge and honor your female intuitive side. I think that's a perfect message in light of our lunar luminary tonight that is full of feminine power, going with the flow of Pisces, the final sign of the zodiac, and diving deep into our faith and belief in ourselves and our ability to change. And so we have number 28 is our next card, the Shadow. Although every card in the archetype deck has a shadow potential, this card asks us to delve into the qualities of the shadow itself. We often think that the shadow can be purified, illuminated, and made right through effort and achievement. However, it's typically the case that our lofty pursuit of ascension and perfection is the very source of shadow material itself. By rejecting parts of ourselves and the world, we begin to separate from the whole. Rather than getting to know the qualities and content of our shadow, we busy ourselves with avoiding its presence. This is denial. When the card appears, it's time to take inventory of those things you have been denying. When the mind responds with, no, anything but that, you are touching shadow. Find support for this deep inner work and move toward the shadow with patience and compassion. When in the upright position, this card means revealing unconscious aspects of the self and the world. And it means the unspeakable, the unwelcome, and the denied. In the shadow of the gods are the very gods themselves. Reflect on this statement by James Hillman in A Blue Fire. What do you despise about yourself? By answering, you move towards shadow. Contemplate the following scientific observation. The closer an object, person, place, or community is to the light, the longer the shadow it casts. So take a time to reflect here on this principle in light and shadow that we're talking about. The brighter your light, the darker the energy that you attract, or the longer the shadow you cast, meaning you're burning so bright right now, but that's only after you have gone through this darkness, through this deep shadow work of self-transformation, all the negative things that we deny, reject, and see as not applicable to us. It's something we don't want to look at. But that's the only way you become the swan and burn this bright light. And when you burn a bright light, you attract dark entities. So it again is going to be, once you draw all this attention, you're going to have strong boundaries. And those strong boundaries could not have been constructed unless you were given a million examples before now of what poor boundaries look like. Okay. So now that you've lived that and experienced that, you are qualified. You are in a better place to give a balanced perspective from those who come to you seeking your opinions or your views because you're so experienced. So I have this bag of tokens that I created. It has a bunch of zodiac signs and planets on it. I'm going to pull out a couple and see if any messages resonate for you that come through. All right, Sagittarius, I did mention some fire energy earlier. Could be Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. It's masculine fire, action-oriented. But Sagittarius deals with the 9th house of higher learning philosophy. It could be the presence of a spiritual teacher. You could be on your way to becoming a spiritual teacher. And finally, we have Aries. There's another fire element. So Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So that comes right after Pisces. In tropical zodiac, our next full moon will be in Aries. All right. And one more. We have Mercury. Okay. So you could have Mercury in either of these placements. Mercury has to do with thought, communication, short distance travel, finance, but it can also deal with deception. That could be in relation to the shadow. Mercury is a trickster. He's also the magician, though. They are the ones that are able to perform this transmutation process within by addressing the shadow energy and bringing it to the light, thus decreasing its pull and power over you in one direction over the other. All right. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Pile 1. If so, please let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, and hopefully we'll see you at the next reading. Take care. Thanks. All right, here we are. Pile number 2. You chose the unexpected number 43, once in a blue moon card. So that's when two full moons occur in one calendar month. I'm not sure when the last one was or when the next one is, but let's tap into this message of something rare, unexpected, and abundant. So let's start with your Tarot of Dreams here. We have the Palace of Coins. Okay, this is not a typical tarot card, but it is alluding to the element of earth, the environment, and surroundings of abundance, wealth, fertility, prosperity, things coming into bloom. So that might be something unexpected, an unexpected windfall. We have the number 5 major arcana, Faith. This is typically the Hierophant card or the Pope card known in the typical deck. Could be a spiritual teacher, again, maybe even having faith in your manifestations, pouring the energy into yourself and your beliefs about what is possible for you that is able to come your way. It's almost like some prayers been answered. That's why it's unexpected. And then we have the Star. Okay, number 17, Aquarius. Now, this is a full moon in Aquarius, according to Sidereal Astrology. And what I mean by that is when you actually look at the sky or go to Stellarium online and check the position of the planets, it's actually, the moon is sitting in the sign of Aquarius at this time. But tropical astrology is about one sign ahead due to the 2,000-year period in which they didn't adjust for the equinox precession. But anyway, getting back to this. So we have 2 major arcana and an atypical element card, let's call it, for that. So the Star deals with destiny, purpose, Aquarius being service to others, the collective. Some of you could be achieving wealth unexpectedly through the success of a business, a faith-based business, spiritual business. Let's see what the rest of your cards are bringing towards you. Your Dreams of Gaia Tarot, we have Emotions. This is number 19. This deck also has extra cards. So number 19 in the typical deck would be the Sun card. But here we have a light being holding a sword that is parallel, to the ground. And that'll be like, to me it looks like a balanced emotion. Swords to me represent air, so this is head over heart, or a balance achieved between those. Emotions being more rationalized, under control. And then for your Angels and Ancestors card, we have Animal Guardian, trust your instincts. So some of you may be experiencing a lot of encounters with wildlife at this time, whether that be nature that wanders into your yard, or your pets can be especially sensitive to you at this time. communicating, or you may feel as though you're able to communicate with nature or animals. You're very tapped into this earth plane, this earth element. You may have strong Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus in your chart. Again, this is the card of Taurus, which is the earth sign and rules the second house of money and finance. And there we have the Palace of Coins here, indicating wealth, like generational wealth. And these two cards together, trust your instincts. It's kind of like keep your human brain out of it, your emotional overthinking human brain, and trust your heart, trust your gut, trust the baser senses, and stay out of your mind. Because I think if you spend too much time in your mind, you become off balance, you get emotional. And this is telling you not to worry so much, but to ground yourself and channel that energy into the earth. So for your medicine card deck, we have number 18, the Lynx. I'll read about that. And then the archetype card we have here is the Anima Mundi. Okay, I believe this is number 78. This is the final card of this deck. So that's a pretty powerful card right there. I'm going to read about it. But, I mean, it's the unexpected, right? And finally, we have for your sigil making magic card, we have the Labyrinth. Transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration, enlightenment. Okay, so that seems to come hand in hand with this faith card. This enlightened figure, someone who devotes their life to studying energy and frequency, relationship to the divine, and where they find that within. And the labyrinth is a maze. It's a journey. It takes a long time, a lot of dead ends before you get yourself on the right path. Some of you are trying to find your path right now, and this is telling you to, again, trust your instincts, trust your gut. Don't follow the map, follow your heart. Some of you follow the map of the stars, I just heard. So some of you could be looking at your astrological chart, or even sailing, charting a course across the ocean. But it's just like, have faith that you are exactly where you need to be in this moment, doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're definitely on the right path. There's security, and there's nothing that can kind of push you off this path. Number 18, Lynx. There's a feeling of determination and devotion that I'm feeling to your purpose. Number 18. Okay, the Lynx. It is said that if you want to find out a secret, ask Lynx medicine. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get the silent Lynx to speak. To be confronted by the powerful medicine of Lynx signifies that you do not know something about yourself or others. Lynx is the keeper of the secrets of lost magical systems and occult knowledge. Lynx has the ability to move through time and space and to go into the great silence for unraveling any mystery. Lynx is not the guardian of secrets, but the knower of secrets. The problem lies in getting Lynx to instruct you. He or she would rather be off chasing a bird or kicking sand in your face than running circles around you. Lynx medicine is a very specific type of clairvoyance. If this medicine is strong in you, you will get the mental pictures concerning other people and the exact things they have hidden, either from themselves or from others. You will see their fears, their lies, and their self-deceptions. You will also know where they have hidden the treasure, if there is any. If you never speak of these revelations, you simply know. The only way you can coax information about yourself out of a Lynx medicine person, in case you have forgotten where you hid the treasure, is to respect the practices of his or her tradition. If you go to the gypsy with Lynx medicine, you must show your respect by paying the money after the reading. If you go to the Choctaw medicine person, he or she will reach into your midsection or use other traditional methods to help you. A blanket or tobacco should be given in exchange for the medicine he or she has performed for you. This maxim is known as the law of the Lynx people and is practiced by Native American, Gypsy, Sufi, and Egyptian cultures, among others. If you have pulled the Lynx card, you can be sure that secrets are afloat. If this is your personal medicine, you should listen to your higher self. Be still and pay attention to the revelations you receive, either in the form of mental pictures or through a high singing voice in your inner ear. Perhaps you will receive information in the form of omens. You can be sure that Mother Earth is signaling to you in some manner. If Lynx is at your door, listen. Brother or sister Lynx can teach you of your personal power and of things that you have forgotten about yourself. Lynx can lead you to lost treasures and connect you to forgotten brotherhoods or sisterhoods. Some medicine people believe that the Sphinx of ancient Egypt was not a lion, but a lynx. The lynx does not say much. With the enigmatic smile, the great cat watches over the sands forever. So, I'm getting a Scorpio vibe too here. Scorpio rules the 8th house of secrets, the subconscious, the occult. So it's like, and I got this vibe of a spiritual teacher. Some of you may be finding your way to a spiritual teacher, or it'll appear when you're ready, but it's like you're either on the precipice or you've already run into this person. But it's like, it's that connection with this Lynx medicine person that's going to help you get on your path if you're not there already. But there's a lot of occult knowledge that you are about to delve into, and that's going to help you reveal a lot about yourself. Okay, let's read about the Anima Mundi card for our archetype here. Yep, the last card. I figured it's like the world card, the major arcana in the tarot. But here we have the soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, quote, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it's the living soul of the world in all of its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, and the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. Tending to the sacred details of life. Anima Mundi is the energy behind the world card in the tarot deck. Both carry themes of universal unity, completeness, and embrace. So I really get this theme again about, and look at the similarities here between the Labyrinth card and the Anima Mundi. There's still concentric rings. And again, this says transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration, enlightenment. This is completion, coming full circle. You're ending a cycle here, and that's freeing you up to receive this unexpected gift coming in, whether it be knowledge, wealth, but there's some kind of transference of power that's occurring here because of your connectivity, and you're finding your place in the world. There's a figure here meditating in the center of this card. It's like they're the missing puzzle piece. They're the link in the chain that needs to connect the two wires in order to get the battery to run. It's like when you realize that you're the battery, that you have this personal power, that the world is not the same without you, and that you injecting your energy into this very space and time is what is making the world go round, essentially. Like you are the world. Because you're that important of a part of it. The embrace of Anima Mundi is available anytime, anywhere, to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. So yes, all is one. That there's really no mistakes. That although it may seem like your journey has been a long and difficult one to get to this point, it was all necessary in order to get there, in order to find and be the piece, the missing piece. And perhaps this Lynx medicine is what's going to reveal to you the importance of that piece that you couldn't have known or understood until this point in time. All right, thank you so much, pile number 2. Oh wait, I'm going to draw you some tokens, because I did for pile number 1. These are some handmade tokens that I made with astrological symbols, planets on them. See if they have any personal connective meaning to you. Pile 2, we have Aries, fire element. We have Pluto. That's transformation. I mentioned Scorpio in the 8th house. Pluto rules that. Pluto is the god of death. And death comes right before rebirth. And then finally, we have Leo, another fire element. Fire element's coming through strong here. Alright. Leo rules the 5th house and the heart chakra. This has to do with following your heart, setting the world ablaze with your heart. And then we have Gemini, air element. Has to do with, that's a mercurial sign. I mentioned you as a piece connecting 2 terminals of a battery, and that's what Gemini is, positive and negative energy. And when you come to the end of the cycle and you realize all is one, that there is no bad or good, positive, negative, that there is only one, and you are the one fulfilling your purpose. It looks like there are some powerful doors being opened for you, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know how things work out for you, if whatever this unexpected path is, person, introduction, or wisdom that you come across that is going to be life-changing for you in the next 2 weeks. All right. Thank you. If you enjoyed this reading, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, finally, pile number 3, you chose abundance, number 38. This is the Hunter moon. It's the full moon in October, and that's coming up in 30 days. So this message might apply and extend for the next 30 days. Here we have, for your tarot cards, the Tarot of Dreams, starting off with the 8 of Coins. This is the energy of Sun in Virgo. You may be born in the time of Virgo. In tropical astrology, the Sun is currently in Virgo. The 8 of Coins has to do with your work and mastery. This is being focused on one task and being extremely good at it. Productive, meticulous, attention to detail, craftsmanship, often with the hands. Secondly, we have the Moon in Libra, the 2 of Swords. This is either a block or needing to make a decision. And the 2 of Wands. All right, 2-2. All right. So the 2 of Wands is choosing a path, left or right. And same with the 2 of Swords. Typically the card shows a woman with the swords crossed in front of her chest, like blocking her heart chakra. She's not listening to her heart. She's stuck in her head. And that's making it difficult to choose a direction. If there's too much anxiety or worry about going the wrong way, let's see. Maybe that's what you're working on, because this is more masculine, flighty energy, air and fire, that feed off each other. Here we have a feminine energy of earth. And even this, whoops. This abundance, the Hunter moon, is a very earthy moon that she's surrounded by the woodland creatures. She's in the forest. She's feeling very grounded, abundant, radiant. And these are the fruits of her labor. There seems to be some scattered energy here, or some decision about which direction to go with your work, or thus far the work has been unfocused. So let's look at the next tarot cards we have from the Dreams of Gaia, the masculine feminine energy. This aligns with the Page of Wands in the typical tarot. So that's, again, a new direction, new beginning. So some of you might be starting a new business, starting a new project, something that has lacked focused action up until this point. Your angels and ancestors card, we have Druid, hold the space. Again, another earth element card. The Druids were people that worshiped the trees and the forest. Got that Virgo hermit vibe going on to it. This man looks like an ascetic who wanders through the wilderness, you know, a very minimalist lifestyle, living off the land, reclusive, internalized lifestyle. And let's see, finally, your medicine card deck, we have the Bear, number 5. All right. Let us start with the description of the bear. The strength of bear medicine is the power of introspection. It lies in the west of the great medicine wheel of life. Bear seeks honey or the sweetness of truth within the hollow of an old tree. In the winter, when the Ice Queen reigns and the face of death is upon the earth, Bear enters the womb cave to hibernate to digest the year's experience. It is said that our goals reside in the West also. To accomplish the goals and dreams that we carry, the art of introspection is necessary. And that's what I was getting by this Virgo hermit vibe. It's a time to go within, to withdraw, retreat, not focus on the external world. So as we are descending into the fall and winter season, after the autumnal equinox, September 22nd, the days begin shorter, we start to see more darkness, and that's when we all retreat indoors as the weather changes, to go within. So this could be a time of seclusion, study, dedicated effort. With the Two of Swords here and the masculine feminine energy, it may have to do with, again, going within and figuring out where you're out of balance. There's 3 cards of duality here. So 2, 2, 2. That could have to do with the year that we're in. It could also have to do with just your observation of this dualistic reality that you've been a part of for so long. And now the blindfold is coming off, and there are answers to be given to you about how going left or right is not the answer, but going straight ahead, even though it looks like the road is blocked. Okay, continuing on with the bear description. To become like bear and enter the safety of the womb cave, we must attune ourselves to the energies of the eternal mother and receive nourishment from the placenta of the great void. The great void is the place where all solutions and answers live in harmony with the questions that fill our realities. If we choose to believe that there are many questions to life, we must also believe that the answers to these questions reside within us. Each and every being has the capacity to quiet the mind, enter the silence, and know. Many tribes have called this space of inner knowing the Dream Lodge, where the death of the illusion of physical reality overlays the expansiveness of eternity. It is in the Dream Lodge that our ancestors sit in council and advise us regarding alternative pathways that lead to our goals. This is the power of bear. So it's not black and white, it's gray. You know, there's alternative pathways, not just the ones that are most obvious to you. There's always another way, there's another solution. And that could be what you're working on. Because I feel like both of these options lead to a dead end. They lead to a trap. It's not what will bring you satisfaction and peace. But let's keep going here. The female receptive energy that for centuries has allowed visionaries, mystics, and shamans to prophesy and is contained in the very special bear energy. In India, the cave symbolizes the cave of Brahma. Brahma's cave is considered to be the pineal gland that sits in the center of the 4 lobes of the brain. It's interesting that I brought up this concept of the ascetic because I don't know if anyone has read the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. but he lives the life of the ascetic, and he also lives the life of wealth and prestige. He experiences both extremes of life, but without experiencing both of them, he wouldn't have had the gnosis to attain that enlightenment and become the Buddha. You have to know both sides of the coin, because it affords you that perspective that couldn't be attained otherwise. If one were to imagine an overview of the head, the top of it would be a circle. The south would be the forehead, the north would be the back of the skull, the west would be the right brain, and the east is the left brain. Bear is in the west, the intuitive side, the right brain. To hibernate, Bear travels into the cave, which is the center of the four lobes where the pineal gland resides. In the cave, Bear seeks answers while he or she is dreaming or hibernating. Bear is then reborn in the spring, like the opening of spring flowers. For eons, all seekers of the dream time and of visions have walked the path of silence, calming the internal chatter, reaching the place of rites of passage, the channel or the pineal gland. From the cave of Bear, you find the pathway to the dream lodge and the other levels of imagination or consciousness. In choosing Bear, the power of knowing has invited you to enter the silence and become acquainted with the dream lodge, so that your goals may be concrete realities. This is the strength of Bear. Okay. And finally, we're going to look at, okay, great. So it looks like some of you are just starting that shadow work. You're just going inward. You're tapping into your pineal gland. You're maybe practicing meditation, yoga, maybe taking a vow of silence, some kind of, there needs to be an area, like create a sacred space for yourself where you can retreat and recharge and think your thoughts and develop your own solutions that'll come through inner knowing, through your gnosis. And then we look at your archetype card. We have the seed number 66. Okay. That to me looks like a tree ring. Like if you bisect a tree and you count the rings and see how old it is. I think that's the idea there, because the seed is in the center, and from the seed grows this great big tree, layer upon layer, little bit by little bit. And that's the kind of slow and steady, dedicated effort that this Virgo card puts in. Piecemeal, piece by piece, chipping away like somebody carving a statue, or erecting a great structure. It's building it one brick at a time, layering it on a top. It's layers within layers within layers. And, the Spoke Bear talked about going within the pineal gland and accessing that. Maybe there's been a lot of layers that some of you need to work through in order to get to the truth, to get to the seat of the soul and the knowledge that's within. It's like you have to work really hard to open up a coconut in order to get the water inside, but it's like the prize is worth the effort, but it wouldn't be as enjoyable if it was easy. Okay, so let's read about the seed. So there is abundance to be held here, but this is not in the material sense I'm getting. This is spiritual abundance. This is knowledge-based abundance. All right, so let's see what the seed card has to say. The beginning, the origin, the pearl. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex and surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, where the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there is potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. So I mentioned there's a little anxiety here, maybe about not sure how to proceed. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it is a sure sign of growth to come. You are bumping up against a growth edge. It is from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. Okay. Exactly. It's the fruit wouldn't taste as sweet if you didn't have to work as hard for it. And that's the lesson of Virgo. is, I mean, it rules the 8th house of, I'm sorry, not the 8th house, the 6th house of everyday life, work, pets, obligations, family, routine, things that you put a dedicated effort into over and over again. If that's tapping into your inner self every day, making a space to meditate, you're planting that seed of intent every single time you engage in that activity, that you know it's going to have a compounding result, that you're adding slowly, you know, maybe investing in yourself a little bit every single day. Every day you do that, you plant another seed with intention. So this is a generative, fertile, germinating, and building energy. The true seed is elusive. If we follow any story toward its origin, it spirals farther and farther back in time. In this way, we are always the seed and always the fruit it bears. They say you judge a tree by its fruit that it bears. You know, you can tell when somebody has put in dedicated effort into themselves, into their work, their purpose. When you have that kind of focused action, it yields the best results. I mean, there's a guy I go to at the farmer's market. I go to his stand first because he always has the best stuff. You know, everything I've tasted from his stand, you can tell that he planted with intent and care and love, and he produces the best fruits and vegetables. But anyway, so when you focused intently on one thing that makes you you, and you're fulfilling your purpose, and some of you maybe need to spend time reflecting on what that is, then when you tap into that and you really practice and hone that skill, you're going to produce the best product in that category. One of the alchemist's favorite image was the pearl. The irritant over time becomes the treasure. What is your grit? All right. Finally, we have your alchemy card here, the Making Magic. It says, one enchanted evening, the perfect night. Okay. Well, that is a pretty vague message, so take it as you will, however it resonates for you, whether that's tonight, some other night when you make this discovery or have this revelation, or it could just be doing your best work at night, some of you. Burning the midnight oil is when you get your best downloads and your greatest messages, or deep within that darkness of a cave. Okay, let me grab some tokens for you. Pile 3. What do we have? We have Virgo. I'm not lying. Okay, yeah, these are a bag, I'm sorry, of tokens that I constructed. I forgot to tell you. I pulled them for the other piles too, and this is the first time Virgos come out. So, work with the Virgo. Be the Virgo. Love the Virgo. Again, we'll be entering Virgo, I guess, during the autumn equinox in sidereal astrology. So, and then we have Libra. So, Virgo and Libra are neighbors in the astrological wheel. So, from that time where Virgo in the tropical astrology transitions to Libra, that's the tipping of the scales from light to dark. In the northern hemisphere, we change seasons, and we begin the season of Libra in the autumn. So, this is a big transition period. I feel like a lot of you will be withdrawing after the equinox. Self-isolation, but it's with great intent and purpose and of your own will. And then we have Cancer. None of these tokens have come out for the other pile. So Cancer being the water sign, feminine, receptive energy. So Virgo and Cancer, water and earth are feminine, receptive. So there's a lot of downloads. I feel like a lot of you are going to get just kind of coming through your heart again. Things you're just going to feel. And with Libra, the air sign of knowing, wisdom, wise counsel. Some of you, again, may be going to an elder or getting some kind of confirmation from one. Okay. All right, I think that's all I have for you this evening. Thank you so much, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If so, please let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I will see you at the next one. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.